YouTube above average Cody here, and in case you missed it, the starting weapon in rank, the Bandit Evo, no longer has any bloom. Some people are treating this as a pretty big deal, so today we're going to cover how this could affect your gameplay and how important it is in the long term of probably your ranked gameplay and the Bandit Evo as a weapon in general. Now, first and foremost, what the heck is bloom? Bloom is basically the error angle of a bullet that you shoot out of your gun. This is in just about every single FPS that you guys can think of, and it's basically the idea of when you shoot a bullet, you expect it to go on a straight line. So if you have one little center dot in the screen, the bullet that you shoot will hit that little center dot on the reticle every single time. Now, if you have bloom, there is a little bit of error angle where the bullet can stray off of that straight path and land somewhere on the outside of that center circle. And the perfect example I'm going to show you guys, because it's just easier to understand when you see it, is with the commando. If you full auto fire the commando into a wall, you can see all of the bullets do not end up straight, and it actually spreads out the longer you hold it. This is because in most guns, the longer you fire, the higher the bloom or the error angle increases. This is what was happening with the Bandit Evo. And what would happen is, with the bloom, the bullet could basically land anywhere outside of that center circle, which is generally why you have a bigger circle in Halo around the reticles. Now, I know what you're thinking. Cody, how do I know if it lands up, down, left, right, like with the commando? It seems to be semi-consistent, but you can't really plan for these bullets aiming to the left or the right depending on how much you shoot. And enter the problem with bloom in ranked environments. People do not like it because, guys, most of the time on a gun with bloom, it comes down to luck, whether it lands to the left, to the right, up, down, or straight in the center. Now, to get to the point of this video, guys, the bloom is gone on the Bandit. So, obviously, I just showed you the commando. The bullets are not landing perfectly straight. Even when I wait a second, they will still land outside of that center reticle. However, with the Bandit, as you'll see here, I will shoot it as quickly as I physically can, and every single bullet is going straight into the wall. So, this is a gun that now has 0 bloom, and this is a gun that still has some bloom because, as you can see, the bullets do not land. They do not make one single dot on the wall. They make multiple little dots within that little area. And guys, now that you have a brief understanding of bloom and what to expect from how it can affect your gameplay, I want to talk about how it feels post this CU29 update on Halo Infinite. And my honest answer is I did not even notice it. I know I'm not going to tell you need to change your settings. I'm not going to tell you need to change the way you play. I did not even notice until people started talking about it, and then I looked into the patch notes. And the reason for this is, guys, the error angle or the bloom on the Bandit was already so small. I think the value they had tied to it was a 0.03 value, which you can take that for whatever it's worth, but it is now shifted to 0. So although there was a little tiny bit of bloom that could have maybe led to you missing a few tiny bullets, I really did not notice the difference gameplay-wise. There's actually a bigger difference visually. I'll try to pull up some older gameplay of the Bandit Evo prior to this update, guys, and you can see how the reticle does that big, that blow-up after each bullet you shoot. That does not happen anymore, and that's kind of like the visual thing that represents the bloom, and I believe that in the patch notes was represented as maximum error angle, because that's kind of showing you the biggest realm of error you could possibly get from shooting each individual bullet with that weapon. So again, back to gameplay-wise, guys, you really aren't going to notice too much of a difference. The only time bloom really could affect you was very long range, like shooting across maps, which majority of the time people weren't really doing with the Bandit anyways. I've been feeling a little bit more accurate long range, but I really do not think that is due to the bloom. Although people are talking about it, although people are trying to make it like a bigger deal than it is, from my own personal experience, and feel free to disagree in the comments, I noticed 0 difference. I didn't even notice the visual changes on the Bandit when I got back on, guys. So although it is notable, it does take out some RNG with the Bandit being, again, you can't you can never know with bloom where the bullet is going to land. Of course, some games like Call of Duty in the past have had like set patterns of how the gun's going to shoot, but that's more of a recoil pattern than a bloom pattern per se. So you can never really plan for bloom, and that's why people don't like it in a competitive environment, because you can't control the bloom of a weapon. So in a highly skilled environment, you want things to be, if you're going to lose a gunfight, you want it to be because of something you did or something the enemy did, and not some random mechanic in a game that leads to a lot of luck, because that's really what it is. The bloom, comes down to luck, whether the bullet's going to land straight in the center of the reticle or it's going to land outside the reticle. Because you guys can imagine, if you're aiming on the head of an enemy that's one shot, and the reticle's over them, but the bloom sends the bullet right over the top of their head, then you're going to be a little bit upset about the bloom there, guys. So now you do not have to worry about that. You do not even have to think about that. I'm sorry you're getting the education on bloom after it's already off of the gun. But yeah, guys, so there is no more bloom on the Bandit. Your bullet will always land straight in the center of that reticle. So if you put one little tiny pinhole dot on the center of your monitor, TV, whatever you're playing on, the bullet should always land in that exact spot, because there is no bloom, and of course there's very little recoil, so your reticle doesn't like come up as you go. So every bullet should be going exactly where you expect it, and that is, again, a massive W for a ranked environment, because although the bloom was very tiny on the Bandit Evo, it's just better to have no bloom, in my opinion, especially on a single fire gun like the Bandit. But alrighty, guys, going in circles here now. That's pretty much the base understanding you need of bloom. However, the only thing you really need to know now is there is no bloom on the Bandit. So there you go. You got a 2-for-1. A better understanding of bloom for all the FPS games you play, and you get to know that the Bandit has no bloom. So if you miss a bullet, it could be desync, it could be a dead shot, or you just straight up missed. I don't know. You guys can interpret that however you'd like. But alrighty, guys, please subscribe to the channel. A lot of Halo Infinite content. Been playing some Modern Warfare 3 ranked here and there on stream, so please hit that sub button, guys. Leave a like on the video. It helps out ever so much. Leave a comment. Did you notice the bloom visually or gameplay-wise? Again, it is a very small difference. I think the visual is probably what more people will be noticing, but it does help the long-range gunfights on the Bandit. And then finally, guys, channel memberships and super thanks if you'd like support monetarily. It helps you out a lot as a content creator, but please do not feel like you have to. But alright, guys, thank you for all the love and support. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the first video with the glasses, and that does it from me. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned for the next video.